Hi everybody, it's Dara, and it's dinner time, and I have absolutely no idea of what I'm about to make, but I do know it's going to involve what I just took out of the refrigerator. And you know what? Very often that's what we're going to be faced with. It's not every day that we get to go to the market with a recipe in our hands and buy exactly what's needed. And in the whole raw food world, we might go thinking we're going to get zucchini and come home with something that looks a lot better than the zucchini looked. So I do have, speaking of that, a zucchini, and I think zucchini, nice body for a dressing, so you don't have to add too much oil. Cold press, extra virgin olive oil. So zucchini is a nice body maker for the salad dressing. We have citrus. Thank you, True, for dropping me off these Myers lemons, and that's a citrus. We have salt. We have these scallions I want to use today. I have from the farmer's market squash blossoms, and I don't know if I'm going to use them now, but I'm going to talk briefly about them. Cooked, they have a delicate kind of zucchini-like flavor. So what fancy restaurants do is that they stuff them. So you can make some kind of nut pate and put them inside. And so maybe we'll come up with a nice recipe for these. I could make a little pate in my mini food processor if I had soaked some seeds and I had some already soaked nuts. I would add, let me think about that a second. To give the look of breading, you could grind flax seeds. So you stuff something on the inside. It could be a mushroom seed pate flavored, and then you could have some flax seeds on the outside, and it will look breaded and be lovely. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that if you do see squash blossoms, get them, and you can make a beautiful presentation. I have tot soie and spinach mix from Maggie's Farm, so that will be the salad base. And I have ginger, which is so anti-inflammatory. So if you are having any joint issues or arthritis, or you're feeling like you have inflammation from an injury, ginger is one of the best things. If you want to learn how to make a freshly ground tea, I have a ginger turmeric tea recipe on the site, so search for that. In the meantime, I would just take a chunk of this, put it in here, put the zucchini, put some olive oil, put some salt and some citrus, and have a beautiful ginger dressing, which sounds great to me. So I will have also mushrooms. Mushrooms are fun to add. Not only do they have vitamin D, they have a kind of meaty, kind of gives you some texture. You're not going to be missing protein. If you eat a vegan diet, you will not be missing protein. Amino acids are the building blocks to protein, and there's plenty of amino acids in your leafy greens. If you're super worried, you can use spirulina, you could use raw vegan protein powders. You get a lot of protein in tahini, you get calcium in almonds and nuts and seeds. So please don't worry about the protein. If anything, worry about your vitamin D. Get yourself out in the sunshine. If anything, be concerned, don't worry, but be concerned about B12. Take a sublingual supplement. Other than that, there is no protein deficiency, okay? Definitely calcium for calcium, bok choy, sesame tahini, eat those things. Maybe use tahini every night in your dressing. I'm gonna do that. I'm going to use ginger and tahini, so I will get that in a moment. As my other things to add into my salad, sugar snap peas are in season right now. You can just eat these as a snack, and you can cut them up and put them in your salad. And I have cauliflower, and that makes a nice, you cut them into little bite-sized pieces and a nice crunch. And purple cabbage, or red cabbage, whatever you like to call it. And since I'm serving Herbie dinner, I will definitely add some of this. He likes to have leaves of this just like he's eating a piece of bread. So a little bit of the dressing on one of these will make him really happy. So think about your loved ones, and consider making something, adding something to the meal that pleases their palate. So I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping. What did I say I was going to get? Yes, the tahini. And hemp seed, almond butter, tahini. The thing is, I want to talk about abundance. People ask me, what is your view on, money and making money? How do you do what you do? How did you create a life out of a YouTube channel? And I can look back on my life and honestly tell you there's a number of things that I have done in my life that wouldn't seem to lead to success. And by success, I mean happiness. I mean doing what you love and being able to sustain yourself. And sometimes it takes a leap of faith. Sometimes it takes saving up money and using some of that money to take that leap of faith and knowing that maybe for a year or two, it's not going to be great, get great income. But I had a brother, he's no longer with us, and he was a pharmaceutical rep and he hated his job and he got depressed. And of course he got fired, because when you hate what you do, you're not going to be good at it. Nobody's going to want to be around you. Nobody's going to want to buy what you have to sell. And so he got fired from his job. And I thought, wow, you love pets. He was so good with pets. He potty trained his bird to go over the toilet. Anyway, I said, get a job in a pet store. He said, but I won't be able to afford my house. And I said, well, get a little studio apartment. You'll be so happy working in a pet store. Who knows what can happen? Because when you are happy doing what you're doing, goodness, and that means abundance, magnetizes to you in a way you cannot imagine when you are staying stuck doing the thing that you do not like to do. And I'm not saying to everybody, go give up your job and forget about, not to be irresponsible, but if your heart isn't in what you're doing, money isn't going to come. So that's one thing, follow your heart. The other thing is be willing to let go. The people who are holding on to get money from an insurance company over an accident, or the people who are holding on because their ex isn't giving them enough, they're going to be the person holding on, and new things are not going to come into their lives. So being willing, I have always been willing to let go, to avoid conflict, to avoid fight, because I never want to put my energy there. I want to put my energy here, where it's beautiful. I want to go where my heart, where it brings me excitement. Sitting in a lawyer's office doesn't do that. Fighting somebody over money doesn't do that. So for any of you who are holding on, thinking that it's just, what's just is stepping into the beautiful life you're intended to live. What's just is doing things, and this is the third thing, in service. Give. Give without expecting to get something in return. If someone says, oh, you like to talk about raw food? Come talk about raw food. Give samples of your raw food. If you can't afford to buy the zucchini to make the zucchini noodles to pass out samples, then suggest to the person in charge of the workshop, well, I can't afford, or I don't even say I can't afford, just say right now isn't a good time for me to purchase the materials needed. Would you consider building it into a workshop in the future? Charge a little extra, and then I will donate my time for free, and that way my materials are covered. So the thing is be willing to give. You may give this way and receive from somewhere else. It's not your business to know where the money is coming from. It will come in some other avenue. So please, if you can't give a thing, because you don't, well, lemon, look, somebody gave me a bag of lemons today. Do you know how that cheered my day? Or a sweater that she wasn't wearing anymore, or something. Give of yourself. If you can't give a thing, give time. Give freely. Just give, and it will come back. It's like a flow of energy. Not giving, holding on for yourself, is a clot of abundance. It's a clot in the river of abundance. So when you give, you receive. When you give money, you get money. When you give time, you get time, whatever that, all that. So that's what I want to say is my mindset has always been around celebration and having things feel good. Fourth thing, and I'm going to keep going with this. I'll probably shut the camera off while I prepare this and let you know what I did. But the fourth thing is to... yes. Okay, this is an important one. There's a lot of people who will like to talk about fear-based things. Have you heard this person lost all their money and the economy's so bad and everything's tanking and everything's going bad? Well, really, how is me shutting down, worrying about all of that going to help me to live an abundant lifestyle. It won't. So if there's somebody around you that's doom and gloom, you got to not listen, politely excuse yourself. And, I have a very perfect example. I used to have a woman who advised me at one particular time. I had a chunk of money, and she advised me, if you do this, you're going to end up this, and if you do this, and she was fear-based, and it made me nervous. And I'm like, you don't understand what I know. And what I know is that I may go through a lot of my money, but I know I will get money back. And now I work with someone who totally understands that principle. Yes, he watches what I do and he advises me business-wise, but he also understands me, and I'm able to be me and also be properly advised. So be very careful who you surround yourself with and choose the people who understand that principle. So there's my whole. That is so not the whole thing, but that's the beginning on how to think in an abundant manner. And yes, if you do what you love, it may take a while. You may decide to do a YouTube channel and notice all of a sudden you're getting advertising clicks and money starts coming in. And you're like, wow, that's going to pay for the food. Wow, that might pay for somebody to help me. Or that might pay for an upgrading. And little by little, it starts to build. And when you're happy, things just magnetize to you. So that's my thing. I'm going to make food now. Okay, so now I have my mise en place, my things in place to assemble my salad, and I'm going to do that after I make the salad dressing, which consists of the tahini that I've already put in the mini food prep processor, and I put in a couple tablespoons. You can use more. Great calcium, great for your bones, teeth, hair, and going to use the juice of half a lemon. You can use apple cider vinegar. You can use orange juice. Can you see? Okay, we're good? Good? This bowl could move. This bowl could move. On the table are sprouts. If you have the opportunity to buy sunflower sprouts, do it. Mung beans are easy to grow by your sink. Sunflower sprouts really do need soil, so it's a more complicated process. I have them inspiring me right here. I'm going to put in a little handful of scallions into my dressing. And I have 3 pieces of ginger about this size. Okay, so a nice amount of ginger. And I'm definitely going to use olive oil. This is very large. I know someone gifted me with this. I normally don't use such a big container of olive oil, but I'm going to pour in. And now I have a couple tablespoons of olive oil, pinch of salt. Remember, your fat, if you want to eat a fairly low-fat diet, which is all the rage these days, is to think of your fat as a carrier for your fiber. Think of your fat as a way to get the greens down. It makes your greens more palatable. So we have that all going on. I want another tablespoon of tahini. I'm making a very large salad. I have a baby head of cauliflower I'm using. I have a big bag of spinach. There's probably 3 adults that will eat. 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe even. So if it looks like I'm using a lot of fat, this is going a long way. So I have that. You could add garlic, would be nice. And I'm just, and the zucchini. Zucchini is the body. Folate. Vitamin A, vitamin K. We like the skin. Don't take the skin off. Cut it up for the little food processor. And as I was cutting it, you could smell all of the fresh veggies. It's like life is on this table. Abundance is on this table. Food was our priority first. We never lived in an area that didn't have nourishing food. Now food is an afterthought, and we're changing that. Food needs to be the first thing we think about. How can I feed myself? How can I give myself as much nutrient-rich food as possible? There we go. I'm going to do another little squeeze of lemon because I did add more. So this is a little lemon, and I'm going to blend. I don't think you need to hear the noise, so I'm going to shut the camera. Okay, so the only difference between a dip and a dressing is how liquefied it is. So right now, this would be an amazing sauce. Dips are thicker than sauces. So all I have to do, tastes delicious, is add some more oil, add water. If you don't want oil, I have nobody here tonight who is fat phobic. We could be fat phobic at any, I have somebody. Oh, we got less of it, a little smaller portion. But the thing is, then you can always give the dressing to someone to dress the salad themselves. When we want to lose weight or reverse the symptoms of dis-ease, definitely going lower fat is good. From time to time, depending on what time of the month, what time of the year, what time of life. It is so good. It needs a little more salt. And I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with potatoes. Somebody asked me, there's so nothing wrong. I made mashed potatoes out of cauliflower and cashews. And cashews are not something I use all the time. This is about a teaspoon of garlic powder. Totally nothing wrong with potatoes. If you want to eat a boiled steamed potato or steamed potato, go for it. Okay? It's the roasting that causes acrylamides, a known carcinogen. So it's best to boil or steam. But for Thanksgiving, by all means, for your vegan Thanksgiving, don't worry about it being raw, and eating a potato could quite frankly be healthier than eating tons of cashews every day, or, you know, but I made the mashed potatoes to show that you can do it, and it's nice. So that's why I did it. Doesn't mean I eat cashews every day and I would never eat a potato. Potatoes bring me down a little bit. They're grounding, obviously. Perfect. Know that the flavor of your salad dressing needs to be intense because it's going over a lot of hydrated food. So now I will assemble. It sounds so formal. In here, I have cauliflower. And for those of you who know me, usually I like to dress my cauliflower with nutritional yeast and salt and garlic and let it marinate. And I still might do that. So let's just put that off on the side. I have my Maggie's greens, Maggie's Farms, and I reuse my bags. And I have sprouts. Sometimes I like to give them a little chop, chop, chop. I find it a little irritating when I get sprouts served on top of my salad and then I have to cut it. So I like things to be cut up for me. That's just my preference. I used to find chopped salads at restaurants really fascinating. I love that they do that. I think chopped salads are really nice. This looks so beautiful. Look at that. We're so getting our greens on. Sprouts are rich in chlorophyll and protein, a lot of protein. And we have our scallions. We have our sugar snap peas. This is for Herbie on the side. I could put just tahini on this and he'll be happy. And then I'm going to dress this. And I will mix it all up and then just serve it in little bowls and everyone will be happy. So I just want to say, get your greens on, get your abundant thinking, step away from fear, step into love, follow your heart. That's the key, and be authentic. There is no other you. You are the only you, and you are here to provide a gift to the rest of us. So follow your heart and let us know what it is, and I love you guys and see you soon.